This is the Nvidia Shield Android TV home screen. It is running Android Lollipop 5.1, and is using its Android TV, so it has the nice lean back interface. They're using rows to show the content that would be available to you. The first row would be recommendations. Looking at these, I'm not sure why these are necessarily recommended for me, although some of this is from our Plex server up here. On the second row, you'll find the Shield Hub. These are items that are put in place by Nvidia. You have the Stream Games, which is a very nice service, the Grid service from Nvidia. Right now, that's a free service. Till probably in September is what I'm hearing. They're wanting to make that a paid service. I'll go into that in just a moment. Over here you'll find download games, where you'll find a selection of games. Most are for purchase. A few of them are for free as well. But these are games that would be compatible with the Nvidia Shield Android TV. So the Nvidia Shield Android TV has some nice hardware. The Nvidia Tegra processor handles these games very, very well. And even with the Grid service where the games are being streamed over the internet, the graphics are just awesome. They're amazing. So I'll show you that in just a bit. Netflix, this is an important application for many households, including my own. Family enjoys being able to stream movies over the internet, TV shows, what have you. If you go into one of the kids' accounts, it goes into the kids interface, of course, and that would allow you to launch a TV show or a movie from here. Let's get out of here. Exit Netflix. Then the next row is games, and I only have one here. It's Crossy Road. There are a selection of games from the Google Play Store that are compatible with Android TV that you can install from there, and those would show up on this row. Then we have our apps, apps such as ES File Explorer. That's kind of an important application for if you're wanting to add content to your Nvidia Shield Android TV, such as APKs, to install Android apps that are not necessarily available through the Google Play Store, or as I have found, I can utilize it to send files to my Windows shares, Samba shares that I have on my FreeNAS server, so I can send a file over to that Samba share utilizing ES File Explorer. The photos and videos, that's a pre-installed application there. YouTube, of course, takes you into the YouTube application where you're able to search for or browse various different videos, so from your subscriptions or even your own uploaded files that you may have here. Playlists, and you can browse your history or things that you've put in to watch later. One of the other nice things about the Nvidia Android Shield TV, it's controllers, whether it be the game controller or the optional remote, you can utilize the microphone in order to do a search. So Android Authority. Android Authority. There you go. Brought up Android Authority's channel, as well as various different videos that you can find that Android Authority has put out. So back to the home screen. And Pandora is just a music app, of course, and we utilize that for listening to music. If you've used Pandora before, it's very familiar. I'll launch that so you can see it. So Very nice app for listening to music, either at mealtime or when you're entertaining friends or family. So quit Pandora. Now, we use the Nvidia Shield Android TV as also our TV appliance. So, of course, we have an indoor antenna, but the indoor antenna is not plugged into the Nvidia Shield Android TV. We have a computer, the old home theater PC computer that has a TV tuner card in it. It's running Windows 10, and the indoor antenna is plugged into that TV tuner card. And we have a application on there called Next PVR, and that handles the tuning of the card to get to different channels, and to stream live TV and also to schedule recordings. And then Kodi is the application on the Android TV that we're utilizing in order to watch live TV or to watch recorded TV for the current day. So I'll go into Kodi. Let's say recorded TV for the current day because the hard drive on that Windows computer is only 128 gigs. So it's not very large. And of course, when you're recording TV, those files tend to get very large very quickly. So I have a job that runs each night's a scheduled task, an application that I wrote that FTPs the files from the Windows 10 computer over to the FreeNAS server. And then what will happen is I have Plex running on the FreeNAS server. It'll pick up the recorded TV, the new recorded TV files, and add them to the TV shows library. But Kodi is what we utilize for accessing live TV. So let me go over here to TV, and you can see there's a channels interface where you can see all the different channels that we have access to. I can go in to one and show you some TV real quick. So there's some live TV playing from our Windows 10 computer with Next PVR, streaming down to the Nvidia Shield Android TV in Kodi. Another way of looking at your TV shows is through the guide. There's an electronic programming guide, and what we utilize is Schedules Direct, which is a service that you pay for. It's just $25 for an annual for the annual fee, and what that does is it gives you access to this nice electronic programming guide so that you can see what's coming on, what's playing now. You can also utilize it for scheduling your recordings in a season pass mode, if you will. So go in and let's access something from here. Doogie Howser MD, oh wow. Definitely want to watch that, right? So that's Doogie Howser. And that was the programming guide view. And under recordings, if we had any there, you would see them show up here. Right now, I think there's a recording that's scheduled for tomorrow night, but nothing that's in there for today. You can also look at your timers, which would show your upcoming recordings. Timer is a kind of an interesting nomenclature that Kodi uses. It's not something, I guess, that would make sense to me. I wouldn't call it a timer, but for whatever reason, that's the nomenclature that they utilize within the Kodi application. You can also search for shows here and schedule the recordings that way as well. Now, if we were to go back into the guide and we saw something that we wanted to record, so say maybe we were interested in bones, I could come in here and say add a timer. So yes, and that would bring up this dialog, and I can choose record season. I'm looking for new episodes. There we go, record season, new episodes on this channel. Prepad is how many minutes before the show starts you want the recording to start. I normally set it to 2. And to keep recording for up to 2 minutes after, and keep all recordings, and it'll go to the default directory, which is defined over on the Next PVR application on the Windows 10 box. And if I wanted to schedule this timer, I would just say OK here. I'm going to cancel. Now, Kodi can be utilized for all kinds of different things. Kodi is basically like a shell, if you will, for consuming media content. The Kodi developers provide a certain set of standard plugins that you can utilize. So for TV, backend, I'm using NextPVR. The NextPVR plugin is a basically a Kodi maintained plugin, if you will. They also have a plugin for weather, so I utilize the Yahoo service for that. You can see the weather. But there are plugins for all manner of different things that, let's say legally, they would be even the gray area. It kind of depends on where you live in the world as to how legal those plugins would be, because basically they allow you to search the internet for movies and for TV shows and to stream those from servers around the world to your Kodi device. To me, that's kind of that wouldn't be quite ethical, in my opinion, just because there are people that own that media, and they had to pay a lot of money in order to produce it, and so they do deserve to be paid for their work. I do think the networks and the cable companies and satellite companies, they are definitely operating under a dying business model, and it's not really the way people are wanting to consume content anymore. They definitely need to come up with a different option that would allow people to do things over the internet and do things a la carte. Of course, do things legally, pay for it, but in a way that makes sense for those families. So, but like I said, you can do all that kinds of things with Kodi. Here in the system, I'll show you some of the settings that are being utilized. One of the things is there's basically like a news feed that comes across the bottom. So if you come over here into to the appearance, there's this show RS news feed option. I disable that because I don't like seeing that news feed going across the bottom. You can also change if you get some skins, different skins for Kodi, you can have those set up in here, or choose which one you want. You can also, where's it under settings? Here we go, under settings, home window, you can show or enable or disable which options should show up on that options line there. So I've taken, I hide the music and the pictures and the programs just because we're not utilizing them, and so it just doesn't make sense to show them. Let's go out into video. See some of the options that we have in here. Playback options. Acceleration, that's kind of important, especially with the Nvidia Shield Android TV. It's got some really great hardware, so we can enable hardware acceleration. This was already enabled by default for me, so that's what helps you as far as your video playback. Under TV, that's where I had to enable TV. That was disabled. When you enable that, then it's going to search for a PVR. It's going to find that there's not a plugin installed and enabled, so it's going to prompt you to do that. I'll show you that in just a second. Here we got options for the guide, how many days to show. The guide's coming across the network from the Windows 10 box with NextPVR to display here on the Shield TV. Options for playback, options for recording. Let's see, weather, that's where I set up the Yahoo weather service. And then add-ons, here's where you can see all the different add-ons that they have. And if you look at PVR clients, you'll see NextPVR PVR client. That's the one I utilize there. And if I were to go in and configure, you would see the options for configuring that there. Basically, you're just entering the IP address of the computer that has the NextPVR installation, setting that up there. You can also go into system and see some things. So one of the things I had to do was a video calibration because the Kodi application was basically overscanning outside the bounds of the TV. So I had to decrease the size of the Kodi window so it was fitting within the borders of the TV there. That may be something you would have to do, but that's where you would do it. Audio output. This is where you would enable pass-through. So if you, like I do, have like an AV receiver, you would enable pass-through here, and you can tell it, hey, the receiver is capable of Dolby Digital as well as DTS. So you would enable those options. It would pass it through. I think that's pretty much all the important items here. So that's Kodi. We'll get out of that. The other options I wanted to show you here is Plex. Plex is running on our FreeNAS server, and basically that gives us a view into our recorded TV as well as the movies that we own. I basically take those, the discs that we have, the DVDs, the Blu-rays, I rip them to MKV files, and then they show up here under movies. So let's go in and have a look at Avatar. I'll play that. Start from where it's at.
Scientist. Me, I'm just another dumb grunt going someplace he's gonna regret.
There's pretty stunning. Okay. So let's go under TV shows. Now this is where our recorded TV ends up. As I mentioned earlier, there's an FTP application that I wrote that FTPs the files over from the Windows 10 box with NextBVR over to the FreeNAS box with Plex. So we can go in here and I can show you some of the recorded TV that we have.
Are you, or are you not, the Messiah? I am.
So there's some TV playing from Plex. And so that handles a lot of our entertainment there. Now finally I wanted to go in and show you the Nvidia Stream games, if you will. It's their Grid service. They have quite a few games that are available that you can play. My kids really enjoy the Lego games that are in here, and some of these games aren't family friendly, as you can see, but I wanted to show you just how visually stunning some of this can be, even though it's being streamed over the internet. Going through the vanishing of Ethan Carter. First, it's going to have to load up. As I said, it's coming from over the internet, so it'll take it a minute or two. And how well this all works out really does depend on how much bandwidth you have at your disposal. If you're running on Google's 1 gig fiber network, then you're going to be just screaming along. I only wish I had that much bandwidth available to me. I have a 20 meg down, in case you're curious. You see up there in the upper right, it's letting me know, hey, you're kind of running on low bandwidth right now. I'm going to continue. It's going to load up the game. Okay, so here we are within the game. Everything's kind of loaded up. You see it's kind of getting its feet underneath itself, if you will. Now it's kind of stuttering a little bit. I'll pan around. And just depends on time of day. Sometimes I'm on cable internet, so the more people that you have on, the more difficult it's going to be. So the more, I guess, the more bandwidth people are consuming. So even though you're paying for 20 meg, even though you're paying for 20 meg down, you're not necessarily going to be getting access to that full spectrum of your bandwidth. Let's get over here. Show you the scenery off of this cliff. It's pretty amazing, actually. When things are running very smoothly as far as our internet connection, things, of course, run much more smoothly within the game. Let's see if I can get over here. There's a bridge that spans across a river to show you the detail of the water and all. It really is quite amazing.
Red Creek Valley seemed like a quiet, ordinary place. I've learned two things in my life. No place is truly quiet, and nowhere is really ordinary. Ethan warned me about that. Warned me not to be fooled by what I saw here. He didn't need to worry. I'd worked dozens of cases, hundreds. This would be my last one.
So you can see that water down there and just see the amazing amount of detail. It's pretty amazing. So anyway, that's some gaming using Nvidia's Grid service, and as I mentioned, I think earlier, that is probably going to become a paid service in the near future, probably around September time frame. And at the end of each session of gaming, they want you to kind of rate, how well it went. This was, kind of laggy with our network, so I'm gonna call it a 3. Usually it's about a 4 for me. So there you have it. That's the Nvidia Shield Android TV user interface, and that is what we've been utilizing in order to access Netflix, play some games. Like I said, the kids like those Lego games on the Nvidia Grid stream service. Plex for watching our recorded TV and our movies, Kodi for watching live TV and for scheduling recordings, Pandora for listening to music, and YouTube, of course, looking up informational videos or just funny videos for the kids, things of that nature. And so there you have it.